Smartphones these days are constantly trying to outdo each other when it comes to performance, and most of the time that is done by using benchmark runs. Though those are not the most accurate speeds when it comes to real life scenarios, I will be doing a full speed test for you guys right now on the likes of the recently released Xiaomi Mi Mix 3 and Honor Magic 2. Now both of these powerhouses are incredible to say the least. The Mix 3 comes paired with a Snapdragon 845 chipset, and the Honor Magic 2 comes with their own Kirin 980 chip as well. And both of these are paired with 8 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of ROM. These are incredible phones to say the least. So guys, without further ado, let's go. So starting them up, I'm going to start with a speed test by just giving them a little boot over here. I know that this doesn't really mean much, but there we go. The Mix 3 is ahead of it by a hair. The Magic 2 is still booting up, but I did give it a point here to the Magic 2, since once you get into it, the animations are just a lot quicker when it comes to the Magic 2 load times once you first boot up the phone. Now the next thing I'm going to be doing is a speed test between the fingerprint sensor. Now the Mix 3 has a physical one and the Magic 2 has an under display one, but the Mix 3 is only a fraction ahead, but we'll give the point to it. Now when it comes to screen unlock, they both have a slide mechanism, so we have to slide them both down in order to do it, and you can see here that the Honor Magic 2 beats the Mix 3 pretty much every time over here, so that's great for that. Now moving on to settings, I did enable performance mode on both of these devices so that they're at their peak performance at all times. And starting with the app test, we make sure to clear all the apps running in the background. As you can see, no recent items, and we head over to the camera. So booting up the camera, you can see that the Mix 3 is slightly ahead there, but when we slide the phone down to see the front of us, take a selfie, you can see the Honor Magic 3 is beating the Honor Magic 2 is beating the Mix 3 there every time. Now taking a picture and the speeds when it comes to that, the Magic 2 is slightly faster than the Mix 3 as well. There we go. So closing that up and opening up gallery, you could see that the Magic 2 is ahead there. Opening up a picture, pretty similar, but the Mix 3 took it there. So opening up calendar, the Magic 2 faster there. Then moving on to calculator, these are all system apps, just to test these out. Magic 2 faster there. Opening up the phone app, Magic 2 faster there, once again, no surprise. Settings app, there we go, Magic 2 again. Now opening up Facebook, moving on to some social media apps, you can see that the Magic 2 pulls ahead there again. And then Instagram, Magic 2 again. So Magic 2 is on double the points that the Mix 3 is on. Twitter, once again, Magic 2. Moving on to Spotify, and the Mix 3 takes the lead when it comes to opening up Spotify. So that got an extra point over there, bringing it up to 7 compared to the Magic 2's 13 in round 1. Now opening up YouTube. Over here, we're both on the same Wi-Fi network, and the Mix 3 grabs that one in the bag too. Moving on to Netflix, you can see that the Magic 2 is slightly faster there. And moving on from Netflix, we're opening up Photoshop Express on both devices, Magic 2 quicker there. And opening up Photo, Magic 2 once again faster in that department. Opening up Adobe Premiere, you'll see that it loaded faster on the Magic 2, and then opening up the video faster on the Magic 2, and then actually exporting the video and saving it to gallery, you will see quite a big difference here. The Magic 2 clearly outperforms the Mix 3 when it comes to this, thanks to its faster Kirin 980 chipset. So moving out of the Premiere app and going into Google Chrome, there we go, Magic 2 once again, 10 points ahead here. Then we move on to Subway Surfer, let's hit some games up. Subway Surfer, 3, 2, 1, and it goes to the Magic 2, still loading on the Mix 3. 19 points on the Magic 2, 8 on the Mix 3. Closing that up and going on to flip diving, you will see that once again, the Magic 2 takes the crown. So moving on to our next game after we close up flip diving, you can see that we hit Angry Birds over here, the first one. And the Magic 2 already starts loading it quite a bit faster. There's only a hair difference between these two phones when it comes to performance and speed, but it's not really noticeable unless you do these side-by-side comparisons. So Angry Birds, extra point there for the Magic 2. Opening up Temple Run, once again, Magic 2 is quicker to get the loading going down there. And there it is with the Mix 3 a couple seconds behind there. So we'll give that point to the Magic 2. closing up Temple Run, we then move over to our last game and the last app of the bunch, which is PUBG, the most heavy, most demanding app that we are testing on the phones here today. And these are the international versions of PUBG, unlike the Chinese version I used in my previous video. I've hooked both these phones up to a hotspot on my desktop running a VPN so that I could get it as accurate as possible. So you could see that it seems like they're pretty neck and neck, but the Mix 3 is just pulling ahead slightly when it comes to opening up PUBG. This does take quite a while to boot up anyway, but there we go. Mix 3 gains a point there. That is 22 points for the Magic 2 and only 9 points for the Mix 3 on round 1. Now round 2, we're going to be reopening all these apps again to see how much is still running in the background. So opening up PUBG from the bottom here goes to the Magic 2, and opening up Temple Run, Magic 2 once again, Angry Birds, Magic 2 again, then going over to Flip Diving, and we have it going for the Magic 2 again. So all our games seem pretty amped on the Magic 2. We'll give the Mix 3 that one. I think they're pretty similar though, but opening up Chrome, Magic 2, opening up Adobe, Magic 2 once again, and Photoshop. You can see that it had to be reloaded on the Magic 2, so we gave that point to the Mix 3. That's quite impressive. And then moving over to Netflix, we give that to the Magic 2. YouTube then goes to the Mix 3 since it had to be reloaded on the Magic 2. Spotify needed to be reopened on the Magic 2 once again. What is going on with the Magic 2's RAM management? So we'll give that point to the Mix 3. Going over to Twitter, you could see that it booted up slightly faster on the Mix 3 there, catching up to the Magic 2 in round 2, and it is really closing the gap there. You can see that Facebook is being given to the Mix 3 there. Settings has been given to both of them, pretty much on par with each other. The Magic 2 steals it when it comes to the phone app. The calculator is then brought up, giving the Magic 2 the lead quite considerably again. Opening up the calendar, you can see the Magic 2's taken that, so 4 points ahead there. Then the Mix 3 already had gallery open up, so that gets a point there. And camera, the Mix 3 again. So round 2, not as different between the two phones over here. So that gives us a total score of 34 points on the Magic 2 and a 19-point score on the Mix 3. Neither are bad, guys. These are both powerhouse phones. And until next time, guys, this is TechNick.